My name is Joni, and this is my Weathered Wings channel where I try to encourage you all to paint something pretty for your home. Even if you've never picked up a paintbrush or you think you're not creative, you can do these things, okay? You can do this. This is my faux brick wall that I've recently finished, and I'm really pleased with it, okay? It's not a stencil. It's not a faux brick panel, okay? I used tape, I used joint compound, and I used several different colors of paint, and it was not hard, y'all. It was not hard. It was a process for sure, but not hard, okay? You can do this. Come on, let me show you how. Okay, so let's tape off some lines. Let me just show you. Alright, so I'm taking a pencil and a measuring tape. Now, if I had to do this over, I probably would use the little laser beam light that can get you a straight line. But this is what I started with, so I'm just going with this. So I'm starting, alright, so the brick we measured, we're using 7.5 size bricks. So we measured that off starting at the top. Now, you know when they lay bricks, they lay a half brick, then a whole brick. And then we measured we wanted a half of an inch between each brick. And I just happened to have this tape, because that is pretty standard to what is between bricks. Alright, so from the bottom of the tape, I'm measuring 2.5 inches. And then I'm just marking it. Now, you don't have to be, pretty exact, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so then I put the tape pretty much right on the line, alright, where I measured. Can y'all see? Okay. Alright, so there's that straight line. Now, once you get your one vertical line that you like, okay, starting at the top, y'all probably can't see the very top, but once you measure down, this is another thing. My husband made a half brick and he cut out a whole brick, okay? So that's how he started. Up at the very top, he just put in a half of a brick, put a line, then put the tape, and then we went from there. So once you have your line coming down vertical, then you can, where my pencil is. Then you can come down. Okay, so you put your level, you need a level, and you put it up against the line that's above. Okay, and then make sure it's level. Alright, and then you skip a line and you come to the next line and draw a line. Alright, because when it's all said and done, you just really want your vertical lines to be straight, coming down together. Okay, let me just go ahead and draw those others while I'm here. Okay. And then you're going to tape to the right side of your line, or, that's how I did it. I just went from the left side of this tape with my level. So that means I will add my tape to the right side of the line. Okay. have this little bit more to paint, and I'm going to pull the tape off while it is wet. I think I would have time to let it dry a little bit, but I just want to show you guys while it's wet. Okay, and I'm just using a big, this is actually a Putty brush, but it's just a big brush. And I realized, y'all, I don't know if you watched the other night when I was putting on the joint compound, I realized that I was not putting on enough. I don't know, I probably said that earlier too. I did a video earlier. And so all I needed was to put on more, and I used my small joint knife, spackling knife or whatever it was, and got all the texture that I needed, okay? I don't know if you can see it. I'll pull you up close in just a second. Let me finish getting this painted. I'm working in sections, so I just thought it might be a little easier that way. Okay, so now, this is the exciting part because it looks like brick. Okay, so I'm going to just start pulling the tape off. I don't know if you can see at the bottom, but you will in just a minute. Okay. So the tape is supposed to be the grout lines for the brick, all right? All right, so I'm just going to pull this off because it's kind of messy. All right. Normally I don't start right in the middle of the wall. I hope this doesn't tear anything up because the paint is wet and the joint compound is not dry. I'm not gonna say it's wet, but it's not dry. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Let me come down. So all I'm doing is pulling off the tape that's underneath it. I'm super pumped about this, y'all. I just hope it turns out. Okay, so here's where I just pulled off, and here I haven't pulled that off yet, okay? All right, so let me get you up close. Let's see, I'm gonna undo this. Okay, so, all right, so I'll finish taking, so this is just the little tape pieces. See, and I just pull it off like that. Okay, so now I was trying to get the brick color, and you know there's all kind of brick colors. But I was trying to get the true red brick color. Okay, so this is what I've been working with right here. I've got let's see, how I mix that, and there may be. I mean, this is DIY paint because this is what I use and this is what I sell. So, and it's clay based, and so it'd be perfect for this. But I'm using a little bit of marquee, which is a red, and then weathered wood, which is a dark brown. It's a brownish black, really. And then a little bit, I add a little bit of queen bee if you want your red, if you wanted a little more orangey tone, I would add the yellow in there. And I just added a little bit of each one on this plate, just, you know, and stirred it up until I got the color that I wanted. So like I said, there's tons of red, different reds. Again, like I said, I practiced with a lot of grays. Finally came up with one that I liked. They were either too light or too, I don't know, just too, you know, there's all shades of gray. So anyway, I decided on this, it's called Prairie Gray. It's, I'm using DIY paint, but it's Prairie Gray. So it's really, it's more like a tan gray. It's a grayish is what I like to say. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in my plate and show y'all what I'm doing. And I tried different ways. I brushed some on, I smeared some on. But what I liked the best was just using the sponge again. Just like I put the red on there. And that way, I said I was going to use my spatula, but it kind of started smearing and like covering it completely up, which I did not want. But that's the thing with layering paint. You can kind of, you know, you can just kind of play with it. And if I want to add more red later, I can, or more gray later, I can. So a lot of times I will get kind of bogged down and just keep adding color, and I need to stop at some point. But anyway, so I've put a little, oh, and I probably didn't get enough. But I've got a little gray in my plate, and this, I cut a little piece of the sponge. I hope it doesn't have red on it, which would be okay. And so I'm just gonna blot it on here, okay? Because I don't want to cover up all the red, I just want some more color. So let me see, maybe I should zoom in a little bit so y'all can actually, all right, okay. I threw away my big sponge because I thought I was done. But then I got to looking and I thought, well, I didn't like the gray that I was using. I like this gray. Add a little bit more paint. Alright, so I'm going to zoom back out. So here I go. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. And y'all, if I get where, like some of them that I was doing the other day, I noticed that I was a little heavy-handed on the sponge. And so I can go back, like I was saying, I can go back if I feel like I've got too much covered up and just tap on a little bit of the red. Okay, I like layers. The more layers you have, the more it just looks kind of natural. That one, I think I just added some red. So you have to let it dry though. Once your red is on there, you need to let that dry, because if you go to adding more paint on there, it'll kind of mix. That was the problem with the light gray. The red was already dry, but I was using a damp sponge and the spatula, and as it was blending, it was turning a little pink, and so I did not want that. I just kind of picture in my mind what I want, and then I just have to play around with the colors. But I would like to get it done, so we can get this room put back together. All right, so I just kind of don't know actually where I've missed. Here's some. So I'll just go in different directions here. If it has a really, like a lot of red, like these two, I may put more on there. Okay, so see where this, you can see where I've added the gray. So I've got 3 colors going on right now. Okay. Let me back it up, and then it's just easier to get, okay, some of it doesn't have, like that doesn't have the gray on there. Okay, but they look kind of real so far. So my final step in the brick wall is the mortar. Okay, it's putting more mortar. Now this I kind of have already done, but I mixed it with the paint color, and I decided not to do that, I think. So this is what I used as my grout. It's actually, I can pick it up now because it's practically empty. But it is sheetrock is what it is. It's like joint compound. Okay, so what I have done, that was such a mess what I did too. I bought a grout bag, okay? It's like this. And I just, which there had to be an easier way than I did this, but I just kind of scooped some up and put it in the bag, and then there's a hole at the end of the bag, as you can see. It's coming out. And it's kind of like an icing bag. I'm not one to bake and ice things, but that's what this is like. It's like an icing bag, if you ever ice cupcakes or something. Use your fingers.